Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Quasi Talks, where I talk about things I absolutely haven't figured out yet. But anyways, I do it confidently. So last week I came back after 4 years of ghosting my own podcast, and shockingly you guys actually listened, which was a bit confusing because I was hoping to flop quietly. But jokes aside, I really thank each and every of the person who made a point to text me to tell me what was good, what was not, and the way I could improve in my further podcasts. Also, you might notice my voice sounds a little different today. Don't worry, I'm not contesting for Indian Idols, but it's just this cough adding some bass boost for free. And honestly, it's fitting. My last episode was consistency over perfection, and this one is me proving I took the title way too seriously. But yeah, apparently, consistency does beat perfection. Except now, there is this new enemy, the sneaky, whispery kind. And it sounds like, you sure you're good enough to do this? Ladies and gentlemen, meet my co host, Imposter Syndrome. Maybe you scored decently, landed an internship, or just managed to wake up before noon, and your brain's like, lol, that was luck. You're not actually good at this. Yeah, that's imposter syndrome. My unofficial roommate, and probably yours too. Let's be honest, being a student or a young adult right now feels like a never ending group project where you're the only one who doesn't understand the topic. You could have done everything right, studied, worked hard, or even get good grades. But deep down, there is that tiny voice going, bro, everyone else has their life figured out. You're just winging it. And maybe that's true. Everyone else is winging it too. They're just better at pretending. Let me paint this scene. You finally get selected for something you really craved for. Maybe a college fest team, a job interview shortlist, or a massive project. And instead of being proud, you panic. Because your brain decides to go on full detective mode like, are you sure they picked the right person? Suddenly, everything feels like an accident. You start believing your marks were luck, your achievements were mistakes. Meanwhile, your actual responsibilities don't care. Bills, deadlines, attendance, all waiting with open arms like, oh, you are having an identity crisis. Cute. Now submit your assignment. To be frank, it's not even your fault. From the moment we join college, there is this silent race. Everyone's interning, networking, side hustling, and drinking 3 coffees a day just to keep up. So when you take a breather, you instantly feel guilty. Like if you're not constantly stressed, you are somehow failing. That's how imposter syndrome thrives. It feeds on comparison. It looks at your friend's LinkedIn post like she is doing a fellowship in Paris, and then looks at you eating Maggie at 2 am. Like, and you? You're doing a degree in panic studies. And then you grow up a little. You get responsibilities. Maybe you're working part time, helping out at home, paying your own fees, or trying to plan a career. And the voice gets louder. You're not doing enough. You should have been more productive today. Other people at your age already have savings. It's exhausting. You start feeling guilty for resting, for saying no, even for being human. And the funniest part, everyone around you feels the same. We are all walking around pretending to be adults while secretly Googling how to feel like a responsible person. Here's the part that no one tells you. feeling like a fraud doesn't mean you are one. It just means you're in a phase where you're growing into the roles you've taken. You weren't born knowing how to balance studies, work, and life. You learn it, usually the hard way, with caffeine and breakdowns. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're just supposed to keep showing up, even if you're unsure. That's what being responsible actually means. Not perfection, just presence. But you know what's wild? The people who don't feel imposter syndrome are usually the ones who should. If you're doubting yourself, it means you care. You want to be better. You actually give a damn. So, if you have ever thought, I don't think I deserve this position, or I'm not ready for this exam, or job, or responsibility, congratulations, you are officially doing adulthood right. Because no one feels ready. They just fake confidence long enough to become it. So, if I talk about my experience or how I deal with it mostly, here's what I start doing. And no, it's not meditation or journaling, although I pretend to do it on Instagram. Whenever that imposter's voice shows up, I just speak up. Oh, you think I don't deserve this, right? Cool, watch me do it anyway. I know it sounds a bit dramatic, but that's what I do. It doesn't silence the voice, but it reminds you who's in charge. Because the truth is, fear doesn't disappear, it just learns to walk beside you. And honestly, that's good enough. So, if you are a student drowning into late night studying, or someone juggling family expectations, or just trying to make it to the next semester without losing your mind, you're not a fraud. You're just figuring things out in real time. And that's literally what everyone else is doing too. Your imposter syndrome isn't the proof that you're failing, but on the contrary, it's the proof that you're trying. So, yeah, imposter syndrome is not going anywhere. Mine's probably listening right now, like, wow, you really think people care about this episode? And I'm like, yeah, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I'm saying it anyway. Because maybe one person needs to hear that they are not behind and how they can get your ass. Alrighty, that's it for today. If your imposter syndrome also wakes up before you do, don't worry, you're in a good company, reminding you that it's okay to not have it all figured out. We are all just trying to look responsible when we panic quietly.